A Nashville elementary school teacher is on administrative leave after a controversial assignment for her fourth grade class. Now, we first told you about this last night at 10 after an outraged parent came to us with those concerns. News 4's Rebecca Cardenas is live at Waverly Belmont Elementary School. Rebecca, the assignment included graphic content about slavery.
Yeah, and this mother was pretty beside herself when we spoke to her. Tom, she's calling for more training at this school and more discipline from the district.
Just knowing that he had to be subjected to reading something that could make him feel like he was less of who he is.
Kristen Lockhart became emotional after learning her son read from the infamous Willie Lynch letter, The Making of a Slave, in his fourth grade classroom.
He was able to tell me details from the first three paragraphs about how you need to whip a black man just as you whip a horse and break them as a horse. You need to breed them and then take the child away and then whip them in front of their children.
A student teacher told the students the reading was optional and that it was graphic.
Right there should have let the main teacher know that this is not a good idea. Because if the students have a choice, then they have to have parent permission.
Word of the assignment prompted Waverly Belmont Elementary School to fire that student teacher.
It's not enough, because if it's a student teacher, somebody is over that student teacher.
News 4 learned Thursday the teacher over that student teacher has been placed on administrative leave.
We cannot let history repeat itself with any person. African American, black, white, yellow, brown, red, anybody. To know that I have someone else that's going to come behind him and possibly show him that, oh, you're not great, you're not this, you're not that, because look at what we can do to you.
Now, Metro Schools also saying that they're going to use this investigation into the incident to determine whether more training is needed for their student-teacher program. Tracy?
Ladies and gentlemen, this is why I said that we need to protect our kids. And it took a child this young to know about slavery. This happened here in the Nashville area, right, where I am right now. This article comes from News 4. It says a student teacher at Waverly Belmont has been fired and after giving a controversial assignment to a fourth grade class. The lesson was related to Black History Month, and the instructions to an assignment began with "Let's make a slave." Kristen Lockhart's fourth grade son told her about the experience. Monday, my child was like, we learned about slavery, she said. The teacher gave them a choice. She said the info was very graphic and violent, and you have a choice to read it or not read it. If you don't want to read it, then you go to the other side of the classroom. Really? Well, you already told him that it's going to be graphic. They shouldn't even read stuff like this in the first place, of the Willie Lynch letter. They just shouldn't read stuff like this because they're too young. Continue on. It says Lockhart's son was curious and chose to read the first three paragraphs. He then told his mom what he learned. Ladies and gentlemen, what I'm about to read to you is so graphic that I wouldn't even let my niece and nephew read this. It says you need to whip a black man just as you whip a horse and break them as a horse. You need to inbred them and take their child away, Lockhart said. That is so disrespectful, offensive, and outrageous. Now, I'm going to continue this article, but I agree with the mother. You know, firing a student teacher isn't enough. The teacher that's the head of the student teacher also need to be fired as well, because that teacher allowing the student teacher to give that child to read this Willie Lynch letter. That's outrageous as itself. So I'm gonna go ahead and continue reading. It says the assignment then goes on to say to strip the man of his clothes in front of others, tar and feather him, then set him on fire. Locker is worried her son will take these words to heart. Just knowing he had to be subjected to reading something like that could make him feel he is less than who he is, she said. So what kind of lessons are we going to now put in place at Waverly Beverly to counteract what they have done? I'm going to stop right there. Imagine, ladies and gentlemen, that a Jewish child, when you have, like, for example, you have a Jewish, like, for example, Jewish history and everything, and they had a letter or a book to read that deals with the Holocaust, and you had to act what happened in the Holocaust. Don't you know that the Jewish parents will call this anti-Semitic, and the student teacher and the teacher above the student teacher would have been fired because it's offensive? And what if, I'm just being honest, what if it's an LGBT book that says what's going on? You had to act like in a sexual graphic matter. They would have been fired. See, ladies and gentlemen, this is why I'm saying it's concerning. They teach these to our children. And we need to protect our kids. And I'm glad that the mother said something about this, because that is indeed offensive. I'm just basically shocking that I've been reading this, and it's happening here in Nashville. So I'm gonna continue reading. It said, just knowing he had to be subjected to reading something like that could make him feel, like I said, he is less than who he is, she said. So what kind of lesson are we going to put in place at Waverly Belmont to counteract what they have done? And it says, Lockhart told News 4 she thinks that the lesson should have required permission, and the supervising teacher should have intervened. And I agree with that. The teacher over the student teacher shouldn't say, well, wait a minute, let me check the check the homework or check the project, and then once I read everything, then I will make a decision by then. They allow the student teacher to do all of this and think it's okay. So Vanderbilt University said in a statement, the student teacher experience where seasoned classroom teachers serve as mentors is an invaluable one. This is an unfortunate situation for all involved. We will continue to work with Metro Nashville Public Schools to ensure that student teachers and mentor benefit from engaging in the classroom and working together. News 4 reached out to Metro Schools for the comment on the incident. In a statement, they said, a student teacher was dismissed and asked not to return to Waverly Belmont as a result of teaching material that was not age appropriate or within the scope of sequence for the 4th grade class. Metro Schools regrets if any students or parents were caused pain as a result of this incident. District leaders have been working with school administrators and parents to address concerns for the students involved. WSMV.com is now with you. Well, okay, that's the end of the article, ladies and gentlemen. I agree with the mother on the story that it's not just about the student teacher that gave this, child the assignment, but the teacher should have looked at this and intervened and said, well, no, let me look at this. And that's why I said, people, we need to protect our kids, because they will give any assignment, whether it's Black history, but even more graphic than this, they have to portray that they have to whip. And this is very, really, really scary how they teach our kids. And in the book they read, this is ridiculous. And like I told you before, that if they do that to a Jewish person when it comes to the Holocaust, graphic things like that, the student teacher, the teacher that was above, they all would have been fired or reprimanded, one of the two, as well as if the LGBT teacher would do the same thing. So it's to me, I'm glad that that person is fired as a student teacher, but they should have been higher than that. They should have sent a message that we will not tolerate anything like that. And yes, and they even just give assignments, let the parents know what kind of assignment that is, and let them decide what's best for their child. But this story, they haven't done it. So please tell me what you think about this story. Like, click subscribe, and remember to click the notification bell for all the news and commentary. With that being said, this Lions Den signing off. Deuces.